YouTube, greetings to you all. Today is Sunday here in Big C, Columbus, Ohio, and I am your man, Lao Shu, or Lao Shu. Anyway, this video here, as the title says, if you guys have seen the previous video I made, this is a new series that I'm going to be making every week. Basically, I'm going to be showing you guys how to go about practicing the language that you're learning. Well, how to start learning, how to practice at the beginning stages. So these particular videos, if you're new watching these videos, these will be videos for every week, particularly for beginners, those who don't have an idea of how to go about learning a language, how to practice a language. These videos will be very beneficial for you. So the first video I made was for Spanish. If you haven't seen that, I'll post the description in the video in the description area, so you can go check it out. They're pretty lengthy, but they're worth watching if you're serious about learning a language. So for today's video, or for this week's video, is going to be for Chinese. So I'm going to basically just do the same thing I did in the previous video. In this video, this is the introduction. I want to talk about what you need to do, some steps you need to do, and then I'm going to make some transitions over into other parts. Like the next part will be for resources, talk a bit about resources, and then in the third part it will be a shared talk chat, and then the fourth part it will be a hello talk chat. So yeah, it'll be very interesting. Now, I made the introduction. This is going to be a video, new series. Going to be making these every week, and it's going to be a different language every time. So I'll see what languages people want me to do. It doesn't really matter. I don't even have to be strong in the language. It's basically just to show people what I normally do, for this process. So it doesn't really matter what language. Well, I would say that it has to be a language that I have at least studied or touched. If it's a language that I've never studied before, then I'm not gonna do it. But I have a lot of languages to choose from, so I'll see what you guys want me to do, and I'll see which ones were mentioned the most, and then we'll go with that for the next week. So what I need to talk about here before I make this transition. So when you start a language, it's very important, very, very important. The first thing you need to do is find out wherever you are, wherever city, what is the population. Let's say, for example, Chinese. We'll talk about Chinese. How is the population of Chinese people? How is it in your city? Is there many Chinese people there? Do you have a lot of markets, a lot of restaurants? These places that you can go to and interact with these native speakers. See what that looks like, first thing. The second thing is where, like when you're at home. You could be at home, be at a friend's house, somewhere when just when you're not outside. Where can you practice the language? Where are you able to find native speakers? And will you be able to shh, there we go. And will you be able to practice the language very often on the internet? Every time. Will you be able to practice the language on the internet very often? It's very important. The exposure is very, very important. You have to have this interaction every day with a native speaker. Going out, interacting with native speakers is a good thing, but the question is, how often will you be able to do that? If you can't do it every day, then it's not enough. It won't be sufficient for progress. So you have to find, when you're at home, find places that you can go to and meet with natives every day. It can be Skype. It can be any type of chat. Well, I'm going to show you these places I normally go to. Use those every single day, and you will see how much progress you make. It's going to be a lot of work, but that's what you got to do when you learn a language, right? You got to put that work in. It's not going to be easy at first. It's going to be a painful process. So do those things first. Why? Why is it important? Why do I feel that those are important things to do? Because of motivation. And I'm just talking based off of my very own experience. When I have people to interact with like that, it's very motivating when I'm able to use stuff I've learned. And you guys have seen that in a lot of the level of videos, a lot of the interactions, the reactions. They're very motivating, and it makes me want to go back home and study more, learn more, especially when I'm getting beat up. You know, so for me, it is important to have that interaction. And then again, when you're at home, that you need to have again more interaction and have everyday interaction in order to make steady progress. So before you even thinking about resources, thinking about starting to, like before you even think about buying books, that's what you need to do first. Otherwise, I mean, you just be learning through books, and I don't even know. I really admire those people who can do that, who can learn from books and not interact with people, and are able to maintain motivation for years. I can't do it. I wouldn't be able to do it. So, if you're a person, you know, who are able to do that, then I com- I definitely commend you on that, because that's difficult. That's very difficult. Motivation is very important to have when learning a language, and I need to do those things mentioned in order to have that motivation, maintain motivation. So do those things first, and then after that, you can start getting into resources, which you need to use and how you need to go about using them. And that's how I'm going to show you that here in this transition. So what else here I need to mention? So yeah, those are the things you need to do first. Very important, most important of all, before even starting the language. So I'm going to conclude this introduction part of the video. Again, if you haven't seen the previous session I made, which is for Spanish, it's in the description area. Go check it out. Um, and if you have any friends, anyone who's interested in learning a particular language, and you think these videos will be very beneficial for them, shoot them the video link and you have them check it out, and they won't be disappointed because there's a lot of useful information here, very informative. So that is it for this first part. I'm going to conclude it, and I'll see you guys here in the next part.
Alrighty guys, for the second part of the video, as I mentioned before, in this part of the video I'm going to be talking about certain resources you can look into once you figured out the population of the people, the language that you're learning, and also where you can practice the language very often over the internet. Once you get that stuff figured out, then you want to start looking into resources which you can use um, to start learning the language. I have a list of courses here. These are the courses I'm very familiar with, so I'm able to give my feedback and suggest you on these courses and why you should use them at the time needed. Now, before I get into that, I need to let you guys know that when I first started learning Chinese, because um, many people was asking me, well, when you first started learning Chinese, what did you use? Did you use Teach Yourself? Did you use Asimil? When I first started learning Chinese, I was unfamiliar with these courses, especially for Mandarin. I didn't know about this Pimsleur, this Teach Yourself, Asimil. Now, I did mention before that Cantonese was the language I originally wanted to learn, and I did purchase a Teach Yourself. It was the older version, and I worked through like 4 chapters, and I didn't feel progress, so I just gave up and stopped using the book. Once I transitioned over to Mandarin, um, I didn't know I didn't even think about Teach Yourself. Teach Yourself was available for Cantonese because they didn't have very many resources. That was like the only resource they had for that language. Chinese, they had a whole bunch of dictionaries, phrase books, and the phrase book that I chose at that time was called Barron's or something like that. Barron's phrase book. That's the book that I started with. It came with a cassette tape. I didn't really listen to the audio that much. Um, However, there was a pronunciation key at the bottom of the page that I used, um, to figure out the pronunciation. It was very easy too because they had the C. What did they have? They had they had an X and equal sign, it equals sh, and then they had a C equals t, and then they had a Z equals z, dz. They had it like that. It was very easy to use. I know my tones weren't perfect, but I was able to nail the pronunciation through practice, and the native speakers, they understood me like 99% of the time. So that's what I use at the beginning for Chinese. I think I purchased a small phrase. No, it was like a course book, but I didn't really work through it. thoroughly. I just like skipped through it, trying to find useful things that I could use in the conversation. And a lot of stuff I said, you know what, I'm not going to be able to use this, so I'll learn it later. So basically, at the time when I first started learning, I was just a normal language learner. I didn't have any guidance. I didn't know what to do, didn't know where to start. All I had at the time was motivation. And as we know, motivation is powerful. Motivation keeps you going. I had a lot of motivation. I was very determined to learn. So that kept me going, and eventually things start to fall into place after practicing so much with the native speakers. I was able to just, I came to the state of being able to speak the language. So I think at the time, if I had this, people like YouTube, sharing resources like this, giving advice, I think it would have been much more easy for me um, to start the language. But you know, still was successful and was able to maintain motivation and tenacity to learn it. So that's all that really matters. So that's that because like I said, people were asking me what language what courses I use when I started Chinese. Now, I have FLR, Pimsleur, Teach Yourself, Asimil, Colloquial, any Chinese textbook, and some grammar books. Now, most of these books you don't really have to purchase as a beginner. I always say that you should have a variety because one will get bored and you may want to just use something else. But I think as a beginner, if you're starting literally tomorrow or today, you need to just use one course for a while now. And I think the best course for that will be FLR and perhaps Pimsleur. Now let me explain why I say FLR. Um, Basically, this method is a method I created and is based off of my very own experiences of interacting with native speakers. Now, I have demonstrations of this on my channel through the level of videos you guys will see. Is Level one is basically a series of questions and answers and keywords and difficulties that you would need. And if you look at those questions and answers, you will notice that those are very common questions and answers that a native speaker will ask you. I'm pretty sure many of you who've learned a language have this. They will ask you those questions at first, for the first time. Where you learn a language, why you learn a language, all these important questions. And I felt at the time as a beginner that these are very important questions that one need to learn. Um, like it only makes sense. So I decided to just focus on trying to learn those question and answers, trying to nail those, and get them solidified, so I would be prepared once a native speaker asks me that in the battlefield. So that's what the FLR stuff is for at least level one. So it's all about learning the questions and answers, utilizing the keywords for building fluency when creating sentences. Okay. And you guys will see that. You guys will see the layout here once I go to the chat room. So I think FLR is really good for beginners, particularly for those people who are who are willing to speak to native speakers. Now I know everyone is not like that. Some people want to wait. They rather wait 6 months to a year, whatever, before speaking. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, then perhaps my course is not for you. But if you're ready to learn, like if you want to be able to speak this language, um, after a couple months, 3 months, I'm not talking about fluently. I'm talking about being able to really be conversational in the language. You need to do this starting from the first day, and starting from the first day when you come into contact with a native speaker, it's going to be painful at first because you're going to need to, you're going to need your notes or whatever, but if you do this, if you follow these steps that I'm going to show you, then it's guaranteed. After FLR level one takes like 2 months, 2.5, maybe I'll say 3, just in case. But if you follow the schedule, about 2 months. But after 3 months, you should be pretty conversational in the language, okay? And knowing all those keywords and how to answer them, how to ask them is very important as a beginner. So this is why I say this is the course I will start with if I'm one of those people who are interested in doing that, being able to converse in the language in a couple months. All right. Now, Pimsleur, I used Pimsleur before. I think it's really good. Um, Pimsleur is could be really really good for Chinese because they have a because of um the emphasis, the repetition, and with Chinese you have to really have to listen to the language to get the tones of pronunciation down. It's not an easy language, especially if you're a native English speaker. If you don't speak any other Asian language related to that Chinese, it can be quite difficult and daunting at first. You need to listen a whole lot, and I think Pimsleur can be a good choice for getting that extra listening in. Okay, they don't teach you the stuff that I would teach you in my course, but I feel that it's still good. They still teach you some conversational stuff, um, and it's just really good for pronunciation drills. So that's why I would recommend Pimsleur. Um, Now, as a beginner, that's where I would stop. Okay, if you're starting off, I would only recommend those two courses for now. Now, once you get done with like level one FLR, you start getting into level two, which is basically a context, basically just conversation. There's no more questions and answers, it's all text. Okay, once you get to that point, then you can start looking into other courses such as Teach Yourself ICML Colloquial. Why? Because once you get to level two, now you're getting to the point where you can do a little bit of grammar work. Not heavy, but you can kind of go through some things and just try to understand, see what you understand from that experience, or sorry, from that exposure you had through level one for those first 3 months. So Teach Yourself is really good for that because they explain grammar really well. They have dialogues, but Teach Yourself is really good for grammar. ICML is more like they have grammar, but this is more like a natural approach, learning through text. Um, Colloquial, again, it's like Teach Yourself. It has good grammar, and they have dialogues as well. So any of these courses you can get once you get to level two. Now, if you say, oh, you know what, I just want to focus on level two, I don't want to get all these courses, that you'll be fine doing that as well. You really don't need any other courses. You could be good with FLR level one and two, and that's it. You'll be good. Um, you complete level two on top of level one. You have learned a lot of the language, a whole lot. So you really don't need those other courses. Now, I recommend them again because some people will get bored. Some people, they want to take a break from from the course and say, okay, I want to try this out, to keep their motivation going because that's the thing about language learning. You have to maintain your motivation. Once you lose motivation, then you're going to run into some problems trying to continue learning the language. So that's why it's good to have a variety sometimes. If you're not that type of person, then you can just focus on level one, level two. So, any Chinese textbook, basically a college course, you know, with grammar, it has a grammar section, has dialogues. Any textbook would be good. And then you have grammar books. If you want to do some grammar reference, you can use any type of Chinese grammar book. But like I said, Teach Yourself Colloquial, those books there have a pretty good grammar section. But you want to get more in depth with the grammar, then you're going to get it. You're going to need to get a hardcore grammar book. So, um, and that's what I would recommend. Now, let me touch more on this hardcore grammar. See, grammar, like once you get to a certain level, I would say a solid intermediate level. Once you get to like a solid intermediate, upper intermediate, somewhere around there, then you'll be very comfortable with the language. And then once you start doing the grammar, it will be so enjoyable because you had all that exposure and you practiced so much. It won't be as painful, and a lot of the things will make sense at that point. But if you're trying to work through grammar at first, you're not going to understand why things are the way they are. I mean, perhaps some basic things you're going to understand, but when it starts getting complicated, it can be very, very confusing and demotivating. So this is why I don't recommend trying to work the grammar books at the beginning. I know some people are different. You guys would rather do that at the beginning stages, but I'm just saying if you want to have a swift trip through this language, with no stress, I will advise doing it a more natural way. But like I said, to each his own. Everyone's different, and I'm just speaking from my own experience and what I would do. So, um, yeah, that's basically all you need to do. These are the resources you look into for Chinese. Oh, let me touch on the characters. How did I forget the characters? Chinese characters. Should I learn Chinese characters at the same time? It will be a lot of work. If you can handle that work, yes. And how to go about learning the characters. Now, Chinese has a stroke order. The stroke order, they have books for those. I don't know which ones I could recommend because I've never used them before. However, if you're looking to just learn the characters like quickly, more again, the more natural way, I will learn them through a context. Now, you're not going to learn the stroke order. However, if you can remember, like writing from top, bottom, left to right, that's a rule to write Chinese characters. You'll be fine. Um, but I will recommend courses such as any course with dialogues, relevant with relevant vocabulary. Teach yourself. Um, Even IC colloquial, those courses with dialogues, and even FLR level 2. How did I forget? Level 2 also, and level 1 has characters as well. That's how you want to learn characters. Now, when you start level 1, I would say just go through the course first and familiarize yourself with the pinging, master that, and then go back and do a review and start doing the characters. That's what I would do. Actually, that's how I learned. I learned the pinging first, mastered it, and I went back and started learning the characters eventually. And it doesn't take long. I think after a couple months, 3 months, you will have mastered that pinging. So that's what I would do. But if you want to do everything at one time, that will be fine. Go ahead and do that. So, what else? I can't believe I almost forgot to mention that about the characters. You guys will see. I'm going to show you some samples here once I go to the chat room on when it comes to like, talking with the Chinese people because they can read the pinyin. The only problem with this is people from Taiwan don't know pinyin. So if you run into someone in the chat room from Taiwan, you're going to be in a lot of trouble because they don't understand pinyin. I mean, they can figure it out, but yeah, you're going to have to know how to type the Chinese character. So I would just as a beginner, just kind of look for people from mainland China. Those would be the best people to chat with for now until you have started using the started your learning the characters. So I think that's it for the second part. I've talked enough, and I'm going to transition over into my chat room and do some demonstrations to show you how to get this money. All right. So that is it. If I forgot something and I remember, I'll just mention it later on in the last part of the video. So that is it for this part of the video. I'll see you guys in the next part. Alrighty, folks, it's time to enter the battlefield. All right. So, this is Share Talk. This is one of the chat places I'm going to use to show you how to practice talking with people. Now, before I get into it, I didn't mention this before, but when it comes to chatting, as a beginner, I will highly recommend you to do text chat first. Voice chat, I will wait until later on once you get a bit more comfortable with the language. I would say towards the end of level 1, you should start. You should be able to start using voice chat. But when you're just starting, I wouldn't recommend using it simply because uh, you don't have the vocabulary, and when a native speaker speaks to you, you're not going to really understand what's going on, and it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be very demotivating, and you may even quit learning the language. So to prevent from all that happening, just stick with text chat. Now the text chat, it's still going to be a bit painful because you don't, there's going to be some things you don't understand. You're going to have to refer to notes, but it's not as painful as it would be if you did voice chat. Okay, so just focus on text chat first, and then once you start feeling comfortable, then you can go ahead and transition over to voice chat. I've never used ShareTalk's voice chat function before, um, so I would say I can't really comment on the voice chat here, but Skype is really good, so you can perhaps exchange Skype IDs with this with your language partner. But I wouldn't do it for the first 2 or 3 months. I just wouldn't do it. So, all right. So as you can see, ShareTalk, we have ShareTalk is a cool site. I've been using it for a couple years, or more than a couple years, and it's been so far the best place to practice a foreign language at. Well, now I have HelloTalk. I love HelloTalk. HelloTalk is really good, but ShareTalk is not to be slept on. It's a really good website. So here, look, you have find a language partner, you have voice chat, text chat, check your mailbox, edit your data. I've never used this before, but it's cool because you could find a language partner and just go here, type in the language you're learning. Oh, okay. I guess they go by the languages that are in your profile, but you can search the language that you chose for your um, the language you chose to study. They'll pop up here, and you can search for them. You can do that. But man, I prefer HelloTalk. HelloTalk is better, and you're going to see why. But I mean, it's still good, but you gotta wait for these people. You gotta wait a while, and you can't even really tell when they were online. HelloTalk gives you all that information, so it gives you an idea of who you should message and who you shouldn't. Let's see here. I don't remember. Let me check. Let me check. Maybe they do have the time of when they were last online. Let me search. I haven't used it for a long time, so uh, yeah. Wow, somebody knows Hakka and Somali. Are you serious? That's an interesting combination. Hakka and Somali. Hi, my name is Sarah. You can call me Sarah. And I come across the girl well. Man, that's interesting. I didn't know. Hakka and Somali. He's from Sri Lanka. I wonder if that's that real. Anyway, if I wanted to find some Somali natives, I just come here, and then I can just, send them a message, just like that. Um, but like I said, uh, Hello Talk is better. You'll see why here shortly. There's my cat. Every time, same time, you start crying. So yeah, let's get to it. So, oh, you need to get prepared here. This is what you need to do. You see this? This is the FLR level 1. It's now, this is everything. These are all the Q&As. Okay? That's all the Q&A. See that? So you have that open because you're going to need it open because like I said, you're going to have to refer back to notes at the beginning. That's just how it's going to be. And also you want to open up a fresh notepad to take notes from these native speakers. And then you can go back and study them later on. So you want to have this open and you want to have Google Translate open. Now, Google Translate, it's a good program. It's a really good program for vocabulary and translating sentences. Now, it's not 100% accurate, but it's very useful when you're chatting with native speakers, especially when you don't understand. Now, the only issue that I have with it is creating sentences. You're taking a huge risk of creating sentences, especially with a language like Chinese. Any of the complex languages, you're going to run into some problems because they don't really translate. They don't translate really well. So I don't know. For me, I just stay away from it. I'll just use it for vocabulary, and I like to make comparisons. Like if I create my own sentence, I'll I'll create my own sentence and then use Google Translate, see how it comes out that way from the English to that language you're learning. I will use it like that, but I would never use it to create sentences and send to native speakers. I would rather just, you know, add English, mix it up, or ask them how to say something. But I just, that's just me. I don't use Google Translate like that. So, um, yeah, so you want to have this pulled up. You have that. You have your FLR stuff, your resources, or not resources. You have your notes, and we're ready to go in. Log in. Let me see. Let me go here. All right, I'm already logged in, so I'm going to enter the chat, enter the text chat. And normally when I chat with people, since the repetition is very important, I like to chat with at least 3 to 4 people at one time to get that repetition in. All right, I want to show you. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see. This is one. Now here's the pinyin, right? You have the characters in the pinyin. These are the traditional characters, and these are the simplified. Now, when you type in the pinyin, you're not going to be able to access these tones. That's not important. You don't need that. As long as the grammar is correct, you writing it correctly, they'll be able to understand what you're saying. But as a beginner, I will just probably focus on the pinyin first. Just work with that first, and then do the characters later. Because see, if you don't know, if you're not very familiar with the pinyin, then you're not going to be able to type the characters, because that's what they use. They use pinyin. They have other systems, but pinyin is the easiest system to use when typing Chinese characters. So you got to know how to spell the language. So just put that time in and use the pinyin. Okay. And let's get started. So I'm going to message a couple people here. Let's see. I'll message this guy. Like I said, I need 3 to 4 people. That's one. That's Chinese, Cantonese. That's 2, 3. Let's see, one more. And 4. Yeah, 3 to 4 people should be enough. All right, there you go. He opened up. So that's one. That's one there. That's one there. And we'll wait for the other ones. Hello. See, I don't have Chinese in my profile, so he gonna probably be wondering. Let me see. There's 2 there. Oh, I forgot. I gotta act like I'm okay. I'm gonna use the ping just to show you guys. Uh, you guys starting off. There's 3. Oh shoot. Yeah. I'm only using pinyin. See me, I'm only using pinyin because this is for beginners, to show you guys what I would do as a beginner. So again, you have this. You can pull this up. You need to use your notes. I'm gonna put this up here so I can. Let me put this up here. Yeah, so he asked me, am I studying Chinese? He said, very good. Um, okay, so, he asked me, she asked me where I'm from. What's home? Me, See, like some people will I guess because they want to practice their English, so they'll type in the English. But don't let that discourage you, because you're getting the practice anyway. The output, especially if you're looking back at your notes, looking stuff up, that's still output. So this, if they want to type in English, then let them type in English. You see, but you definitely want to see the language coming at you at the same time. So that's why I said, oh, just open up a couple boxes like this. This person isn't responding. So basic questions: where you from? You know, these are basic questions here. It feels kind of weird using pinging. I never use pinging, but like I said, this is a tutorial video for beginners. This is what you need to do. Once pinging is mastered, then you can transition over to characters. I'm gonna open up another. Let me see if I can find another Chinese person, because that girl is not responding. Let's see. Liaoning Shang Shangyang. He's from Liaoning. Yeah, he just asked me if I know this place. 你知道这个地方吗? Oh, she just left. This dude left. Yeah, some people probably lose connection, but that's fine. You got so many. See, that's the thing. Chinese, you got so many. 你在中国生活? He said, you know, he asked me if I live in China. Uh, okay. So yeah, I like to come here, spend time, like this, spend about a good 20, 30 minutes chatting, just doing this. That's it. Because you need to interact with these native speakers. If you don't do this, how are you going to learn a language? How are you going to learn? I'm going to open up another box. Let me see. Yeah, so I mean, as I was saying before, Chinese, the language is like, there's so many opportunities to practice the language. It is just amazing. It's amazing. And this is the perfect time to do it, because right now in China, it's like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. So people are working, or they're up. So that's another thing to consider, the time zone. Look at all these Chinese people. It's crazy. See that? China, China, all over. If you do this every day, you interact with these people like this. 刚才有事，我的，oh, he said he was just something. He just had something to take care of. His neighbor found me. What? Oh, then he used the carrier. He switched the carrier. So yeah, also about Google Translate, if you don't understand, like if someone types to you, like just this is perfect. I'm glad he did type to me. If you don't, if they type something to you, just if you want to know the pinyin for it, you go to do this. You copy it and then go to Google Translate like this. And see, oh wait, hold on. Chinese, right? Chinese, English. Oh, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Let me see. Gang, see, you see this? It matches up. Look at that. And it gives you the tone as well. So it's very useful. Oh, Ling Dao. That's a leader. Find my leader. Okay. I don't know why I said that. I said what I say, neighbor. Have you ever been? So, like I said, 20, 30 minutes. Come here, chat like this. Do that every day. Just like working out. Get that money real quick. Get that experience. That's it. It's that simple. Well, I shouldn't say it's that simple, but well, if you follow the schedule, I mean that's a simple thing that you know what you need to do. But like when you in the process, when you're a beginner, you having to refer back to notes is that's when it can be a bit. This person is busy over here. I'm gonna open up another box. See, you can just keep opening boxes. He said no often, and when you're the show one. Oh, I say. Oh yeah, look, finally left. And see, Chinese people going to just keep coming in here because this is just this around this time. So yeah, just keep opening boxes, keep trying to climb. So see, he's not asking. See, normally, I mean, they ask me some questions, but they're not really. He hasn't really started really asking me because normally they will ask you. They will get those questions that you see. They will. be asking you them. See, all these questions you see here, who taught you and all that, you'll be seeing that stuff come up every time. So, like if someone asks you, so what's your job? You can look here and say, oh, what's your 一个学生? You can just, not copy it, but just write it. Just don't worry about the tone markers because you're not going to be able to put those in here. But you see the guy understands me. Yeah. I remember back in the day when I started Chinese, when it's at home, it was so bad. I used to go to these chat rooms. I spent literally hours. I skipped meals and everything just trying to practice Chinese. It was, man, the good old days. That Zhongwen.com, that www.zhongwen.com. That was like my first Chinese chat site. You guys can check it out. I believe it's still up. Zhongwen.com. See, here it is. Why you study Chinese? I'm gonna use some FLR stuff here. I like to study other languages. I want to study Chinese because I really like studying other languages. Moreover, I really like the way the language sounds. Yeah, so so yeah, like I said, Share Talk is a good site. It's really good. Anytime you have an interaction, this much interaction with people is always a good thing. Like consistent interaction, consistent practice is always good. Always good. If you don't have this for the language, that's why I said you need to find out the population of the. Let me see. What did she say? He said你的水平很高了，表达清楚，语法也符合中文的方式。he said he said my level was very high, and he said the expressions are clear and the grammar is also accurate. Like it's the way the Chinese is, the grammar is accurate. And then he asked me how long I studied for. Let's see. I'm not sure more wrong way. Not sure what you had to. Not sure. He just said, "Well, hold on, he using pinyin. I'm about to switch the characters. It's getting he's too good." Nah, no, but yeah. See, that's really all you need to do, though. That's really all you need to do. Just just come here, chat with these natives, and just pay close attention to the way they write, the way they speak. Pay very close attention because you want to try to mimic them. That's very important. Yep, and I'm telling you, when I see, I go hard. See, I go hard on the languages. Like when I'm chatting with people, man, my notepad is full. Like I be taking all those notes, and I go back and do the research, and I go back and go through those comments or the words that I saved, and try to I mean, I don't try to memorize it because you're not going to remember all that stuff. You need to use it. I just kind of glance through it, see what I learned, and then I go back to the chat room and I try to use what was used on me on a native speaker so I can retain it. Because that's the only way you retain vocabulary is just through using it. I mean, if you're reading a whole lot, you're going to retain it as far as like passively. But I'd rather have I like I love to have passive vocabulary, but I like the active more. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. There she has for Skype. Let's see. I'm gonna wrap this up in a minute, guys. Yeah. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. But look at this. I go back up to the top and see Chinese. Look, more new Chinese people. Look at all these Chinese people. See, there's just too many opportunities. So that's why I said, like right here, you see this? Make sure you see what country they're from, because if you're a beginner, see this? You're not gonna be able to chat with him. You see that? You're not, because you can't use pinging with them. That's not gonna work. So you want to look for these ones here: China, those. So yeah, I'm going to okay. So I just wanted to give you guys a demonstration on how you need to practice the Chinese in the chat rooms. So again, an overview. Make sure you have your notes. Okay, you want to have your notes pulled up. You want to have all this stuff. Google Translate, everything. I'm not using it obviously because I don't need to, but you guys need to have that stuff open. It's going to be very, very, very crucial because the way I'm typing and chatting now, you're not going to be able to do that as a beginner. It's going to take a lot of time because you're not used to the language. So it's going to be a lot of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So, like I said, it's painful, but if you do it every day, you stay consistent, you're going to notice how things become easier and easier. Like I said, it's like working out. That's just how it is. So I'm going to wrap this up. Um, yeah, I'm going to wrap this up here. And the last part of the video will be me on Hello Talk. I'm going to do the same thing on Hello Talk. I just want to show you guys a layout of Hello Talk. You can decide which ones you want to use. Now, Share Talk I don't think there's an application for Share Talk on for your phone. Hello Talk is more of an application. So if you don't have an iPhone or Android, then you will have to use Share Talk. There are some other chat places, but I like Share Talk like the best when I'm on my desktop. Pal Talk, they have this program called Pal Talk. I haven't used the Chinese that much, but excuse me, like I said, Hello Talk, or they all have Talk, Pal Talk, Hello Talk, Share Talk. Share Talk is by far the best one I've used on the internet. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap it up, and yeah, I will see you guys in the last part of the video. Alrighty, folks. Alrighty, we're back here. Okay, so Hello Talk. Hello Talk. Hello Talk. Now, Hello Talk is pretty good. No, it's very, very good. Hello Talk, you have, it's set up like, it's like a chat room, but it's more like you just search for the partners, and it shows their profile and the languages that they speak. And then you can send them messages without being friends, or you can add them. So your partners, let's see, search. We want to go to, since we're doing Chinese, let's go to, we're going to go to search right here, and then go up here where that magnifying glass is. And I normally will do, let's see, where's Chinese? Simplify, we're doing simplified. Do like that, just leave it 18 to 90. Learning any language level, any, just leave it like that, and just hit search. Okay, we got plenty of Chinese people on here. Look at all these Chinese people. You see? Look at all, look. It's too good. Now, I didn't mention this before, but the traditional simplified characters, I know I told you guys, if you're a beginner, just worry about the pinyin, but like, the simplified characters will probably be the best to go with unless you plan on going to Taiwan. Yeah, if you plan on going to Taiwan, then you want to focus on the traditional characters. I will learn both, but as a beginner at first, it's a better idea to focus on simplify. That's just a better choice until you become more fluent with the language, and then you can go back and learn traditional. It won't be difficult to learn traditional. You will know how to read a lot of them already. So I just wanted to put that out there. All right, so look at all these Chinese people. See this? Look at that. It's too good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here. This person here, you can see she's learning Korean. No introduction. So you have these options at the bottom: message, add partner, block report. You don't have to add the partner to send a message. Just send them a message, and then you can do like this. You don't need to change your keyboard to Chinese yet. You're not using that. Just use English. Do the pinyin like this. You're gonna get autocorrect, I know. So you're gonna have to do something. Here you go, like this. I'm gonna message like 4 people. That's one. This person. Tuh, she don't know how to use this. She said, how do you use this? So many Chinese people on here. It don't make no sense. Let's see here. That's 2. Sky. That's 3. Norsk. Awesome. Hi all friends, I'm Lily from China. I'm single, we're trading here. I like English, French, German, Japanese, Spanish, and Norse. I would like to learn these languages to make more friends. It's awesome. Alright, let me send her a message real quick. Autocorrect. Oh, I think I got replies. Oh yes. Oh yes. I got. Look at all these. Look. Look. They all replied to me. See that? Oh no. Wait. Hold on. These. Wait. Is that right? Oh no. I'm sorry. These two. These two. Man, I gotta switch back to characters. But you guys get the idea. See. She used the Dang, what did I choose? Dang. Sometimes this thing be all over the place. Oh, I see. I used the traditional. I was about to say, I thought I had. Yeah, let's go back. That's what it was. Oh, my, is my microphone on? I think you guys will still be able to hear me, though. Hopefully. Oh, man. I'm already deep into this video. That's weird. Why am I? Yeah, I hope this thing is recording. I want to check it out here shortly. He said it's natural. He feels that with me, that communication is quite natural. Dang, she's real formal. She asked me what my last name is. Oh, shoot. he said, yeah. He said he feels that he's chatting with one of his classmates. Almost feel the same as chatting with his classmate. Tianjuchun. Oh man, I think I messed up. Oh gosh. Oops. Yep. So the same as we did. Oh, she replied. See, this is just crazy. Crazy. That's the key to learning the language. You just got that exposure. He said, what did he say? 我和你聊天的时候，没感觉到有什么别的地方。So what he said? He said when he's chatting with me, he doesn't feel that there's like some other type of other place, like I'm not from another place. Oh yeah, while I'm chatting, I almost forgot. If you like, okay, the good thing about this the good thing about Hello Talk is like you don't need Google Translate. It's like built in.
So if you don't understand something, like look, you hit the message and you have these options. You have favorite, you have the ABC, which is correcting, and you have more options. And you see the A with the arrows at the bottom, the second to the last button, that's your translator. And then the last one that says how, that actually translates the characters into the pinyin. You see? But look, when I'm talking to you, did not feel any uncomfortable place. Wow. Wow. Honey Louisa. Okay, what did he say? He said,我现在学校里学习英语的，I study English in the school. 不过不是太好, but however, it's not too good. And I told him I responded to his previous question, and I said, well, I said that's very interesting. You made me feel that you made me feel that we are already good friends. Ooh. So yeah, this is basically what you need to do. Now, I know I told you guys like for beginner. Oh damn, I forgot about the other people. They probably responded over here. Let's see. It's too crazy over here. Let's see. Okay, I want to wrap this up, guys. So you guys get the idea. Um, Hello Talk is very good. I want to show you guys, as I showed before. Wait, what? The favorites, like you guys' favorite things that you see in conversations. Wait, hold on. Okay, so like in a conversation like this here, you see at the top, this has all like the corrections whenever you corrected by someone. These are all my corrections. I have my Swedish corrections. Then I have what? These are my favorites, like expressions, just things I learned from native speakers. Well, they just stuff that they say, and I say, oh, that's cool. I gotta learn that, and I just put it in my favorites, and then I go back and revise it. And like I said, I don't try to memorize it because you're not going to memorize it. You're not going to retain it by memorizing. You got to use it. So I just come here and I'll refer back and use it again with the native speakers over and over again, and then I'll just eventually retain it. That's how it works. So you have that. You have your corrections. I never use these other options over here, and that's it. Oh, I made a mistake over here. I made a mistake. He's correcting me. Oh yeah, yeah. I see. I'm over here. I'm not even using my brain. I'm over here just. Damn man. So yeah. Oh man. I'm about to wrap this up. All right. So yeah. That is it. So basically, that's all you really need to do. Just come here, create an account, and just do a search on whatever, if it's Chinese, you want to search Chinese. What's this? You want to search Chinese people and just do what I just did. It's that simple. And then just, do it every day, practice. You got to practice every single day. Now, also, this has a voice function. You see down here, this microphone. You see that? So you hold that. You can, like this, talk. If you don't want it, cancel like that. But like I said, if you're a beginner, you probably don't want to use it yet until you get comfortable. You have your emoticons down here. So yeah, that is it. I'm gonna wrap this up. I got a meeting here in a minute, so I'm gonna post a video probably tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So as far as the courses, basically what you need to do, I have for the FLR Chinese course, I have like a schedule that you can follow during the week. The course is broken up into weeks, so it's really easy to follow. So if you're interested in that, interested in knowing more about what you need to do with the course, then you will have to purchase the course. The other courses, you can find those on Amazon or wherever they have these different websites. You can find them. But you can check out my website for the FLR Chinese course. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, thanks for viewing. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.